Hey guys, Rich Boy J here, back in with another video, and I'm going to be assembling some First Order boys tonight. So, what is going on, my guys? We got JPA Productions in the chat, Bricks Studios. Who else we got? Got a lot of people. Got some familiar faces, some new faces, all of which I am happy to see. Not gonna lie, Code Lykoth, best track of 2019. Technically, it was a 2018 track, but I would agree that it is also the best track in 2019. What's up, SW Brick 75? We got the Arkham Nerd. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is, right here I have a bag of a bunch of the bags from the inside of this set. I actually ended up taking them out of the box because I had planned to take these somewhere and assemble them. That did not end up happening, so here I am assembling some figs. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. What's up, Kevin Reddle? Says, let's go, Stormtroopers, too bad they can't aim. That is too bad. Oh, is this already open? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to make sure I have an even number of big and little bags out at any given time, so I don't have to search too hard for them. Claude Building Production says, here's my poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, Wakanda's forever, so get this man a shield. I like it. Brick Kid says, shipping those figures out tomorrow, Jay. Awesome. I was actually going to ask you about that. I'm very glad to hear that. I'd love to feature those on the next episode of the minifig wall update. Arkham, are you really watching this during a tornado? Jay, have you ever considered buying minifig scale builds from Brick Vault like the AT-RT, LAAT, etc.? I mean, I have. I have Enthert's Naboo Starfighter. I have Jarek's TIE Fighter. I have the normal, I have the Special Forces, like the First Order ones and the Imperial ones. Cloud Building Production says, how much money is it to get into the Boyle Lounge? It is a cumulative $50 throughout the duration of the build sprint. So, if you're feeling particularly generous, you can do it all in one fell swoop. Otherwise, you can build it up over time. What's up? It's Void. Spent my day working on my first mock. Shamelessly stole your technique from the salt on a crate, but I'm trying to do something different. Hey, no shame in that game. It's a pretty good technique, I think. I would be offended if you weren't using it. Brickhead says, yeah, I got caught up with some other stuff. Then boom, it was Sunday, the Memorial Day. I'm a lifeguard training now, but I'll get them to the PO tomorrow. Awesome. That brings warm feelings to my heart. So we got ourselves a Lego convention coming up soon. I want to know who in the chat's going to be at Brickworld Chicago. Hey Jay, what's your all-time favorite minifigure? It changes, but right now my favorite minifigure is the Special Forces version of this guy. So basically the one with the red stripes. Do I have to use PayPal or donations, or can I use my debit card? You can use Super Chat, which is the money sign right at the bottom of it. You can use Streamlabs, which I think allows you to use PayPal. But, I mean, you can use your PayPal and debit card through Streamlabs or Super Chat. So it's literally just up to you how you want to do it. What's up, Derek Marquez? It's storming extremely bad. I'm sorry to hear that. As someone who lives in Houston, I know a lot about storms. I don't really know a lot about storms, but I know a lot about going through storms. Alexander Pete says, is that a custom UCS ATM6 in the background? Yes, it is. If you want to see it not in shambles, you can check it out. I have a video on it on my channel. It was featured in Garrett and I's crate mock. You're going to a thing in Austin. Nice. I mean, in August. Hey, shout out to that boy Brick Kid, the first dono of the day. He simply says, yeet. Says, I sense a donation. I sense a donation in the chat. Whew. Shout out to my boy Brick Kid. Minnesota sucks. We get 6 months snow, 2 months of every other season. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Brickfest Denver. Oh, okay, sweet. Will that be your first con? Can you dab real quick? I can dab real slow. What? Remix. Can you bring your ATM-6 to Brickworld? I brought it last year. I have no desire to bring it again. That thing was a pain to transport. It is my pleasure, Chris. Chris Monero. Yeah, no, transporting that ATM-6 is awful. How about your AT Walker? You mean the AT-AT? No, I'm going to bring the Corvus. That dab killed my brain cells. Wow. Y'all going to start showing some respect to the dab, okay? I'm thinking about converting this channel from a Lego Star Wars channel to a dab channel. So yeah, I hope you guys appreciate that change. And for Cloud Building Productions, you don't actually link your Super Chat to your debit card. Once you click Super Chat, it'll ask you how you want to pay. Then you can choose your payment method from there, I believe. It's 9:28 p.m. for me. I have to be asleep by 10 in order to get enough sleep for my class tomorrow. So my time here will be short-lived, but enjoyed thoroughly. I'm glad it will be enjoyed thoroughly. What's up, boy? Got my boy Jake. Respect King Boyo. Come on, don't make fun. Exactly, guys. Don't make fun of my dab. I take much pride in my dab. How do you pay for all this? Well, I work. I also have a pretty big Lego collection. I've been buying Lego parts hardcore pretty much for the past 5 years, so I built up quite the repertoire. Hello, unfortunately, I will be able to bring... I'm guessing you're saying you won't be able to bring anything to Brick Fiesta due to a conflict, but you still attend as an exhibitor. I'm sorry you can't bring anything, but it'll still be cool to meet you. Do you think the old UCS Star Destroyer is worth $680 resale value? I know you have 2 of them. I only have 1 of them. And yeah, that's around what I paid for it. I don't know if I want to dab again because, I don't know, people made fun of me last time I did it. Got my first Lego set in 2009 at Christmas. Nice. You went back and rewatched the Vardos video, and oh man, it bring back memories from the mission. Great job, by the way. The Corvus is dope. Thanks, man. That means a lot. Shout out to Bly Productions. Litman is asking for another dab. Oh my god. I want to rename this the Dab Stream. Henceforth, you will be known as Dab Vader. What's up, Andrew Canese? If you guys haven't smashed that like, yes, please. Smash it. Why did I have the wrong helmet on this guy? I'll think about it, guys. Dabbing is me putting myself out there and making myself very vulnerable. I have to mentally prepare myself for it. What do you think of there being so many desert planets in Star Wars? It's fine. I don't mind. Let's see. How many desert planets do we have that we've seen so far? We got the obvious, Tatooine, Jakku. Do you consider Geonosis a desert planet? Hey, shout out to Brick Kid again. He says, dab, dab, dab. Yeah, I donate for this. Okay, I can't not dab for a donation. So, there you go. But, yeah, so Jakku, Tatooine, you might consider Geonosis a desert planet. I probably would. We have the new planet from episode 9. I honestly don't even remember what the name is. They mentioned it. I just don't remember what the name is. What else we got? I guess Korriban / Morband is a desert planet. What else is a desert planet? What would you do if someone offered to pay you handsomely for one of your MOCs you brought to a convention? Keep in mind they would take care of shipping them. Oh, I'd totally do it. For the right price, I'd let them go home with it. Just use, I mean, if they're paying me handsomely for it, then I imagine I'd be getting much more than the MOC is actually worth. So I just use that money to buy more Lego and do my next MOC. How many battle packs did you get, Jay? I had, I think 60 of this. I had 60 of this and 50 of the original First Order battle pack. I saw this Geonosis MOC that used all light tan. God, it was awful. I don't blame people. I don't hold people to a super high standard when it comes to coloration on Geonosis, simply because I know how expensive the dark orange is. So if a person wants to do Geonosis in light tan, I mean, I get it. I don't love it, but I get it. Yep, Jedda's true. He says the one in Solo. I mean, I wouldn't consider Savareen a desert planet. It looked like there was a considerable amount of water there. I want to note that I'm not giving money for attention. I'm just supporting with money. I do it a lot in the Lego community. Oh, of course. And I guess maybe there's some people who do it for attention, but I'd like to think it's out of the kindness of your heart and wanting to support a fellow boyo. Nobody uses the correct colors for Geonosis except Elven Ranger. I mean, I've seen other people aside from Elven use the correct colors, but I get the point you're trying to make. Bro, I buy First Order battle packs like toilet paper. That's how many I buy. A lot. Crowded Jeddah Alley would make for a very interesting vignette. Oh yeah, Jeddah is a really cool MOC to do. There's just so much diversity, and not only the minifigs, but just the building techniques. Apparently Hoth is technically a desert planet if you consider it never rains and is extremely dry. I mean, okay, I think we're specifically talking about what we traditionally describe as a desert, i.e. sand, right? Where's the gun? I'm looking for this man's gun. Oh, it's in the small bag. What's your favorite gunship version? You mean in Lego or in Canon? Hey, shout out to AJ Bricks with the $1 donation. I'm hoping we can flood the Boyo Lounge with some Boyos in Starkiller. I feel like we had a decent amount last time, but if we can get even more, I think that'd be pretty dope. Here I am. I still never bought a battle pack. They don't make castle battle packs anymore. Do you not buy Star Wars sets in general? Jay, how'd you make those crates on Vardos with the quarter round tiles, or does a magician never reveal his secrets? Which ones are those? Oh, okay. Send me a message on Instagram and I can send you a link to the LED file or a link to the LDD file. It'd be difficult for me to explain to you like how I did that. What's the requirement for the Boyo Lounge? The Boyo Lounge is a cumulative $50 in donations. If you're asking what the Boyo Lounge is, it is simply put the fan appreciation room on Starkiller. It was first shown in Vardos. That was the first time I did it. And basically what happens is people who donate $50 or more get in the Boyo Lounge. In Vardos, it ended up being like an exclusive club, like a social club. And you can go check out the Vardos video. It's kind of in the middle of it. And I highlight everyone who's in it so that you get your own custom sig fig in that room. And you'll, of course, get a shout out. And if we've had some particularly interesting experiences with each other, I'll tell a story about you or whatnot. But I don't know, it's a cool way to be a part of the MOC, you know? Says he has about 15 Star Wars sets. Okay, that's pretty good. Jay, save money. Saves money for weekly groceries. Also, Jay goes to Walmart to get groceries. Jay leaves with 100 first order battle packs and decides to fast and live without food for the next week. That sounds about right. Whenever you're buying food, you have to consider how many battle packs could I be getting for this. I mean, food is only temporary. Battle packs are forever. Those are some wise boyo words for you guys. Mostly Bricklink parts now instead of getting sets. That's a fair trade-off. I'm sure I spend more money on Bricklink, but I still buy a lot of sets. Can I do a room tour video? Yes, it will be coming soon, I assure you guys. Philosopher Boy J. That's my new name, guys. Well, I have my first job. I won't go into details, but I get paid good, so I might need to create a sig fig if you get my drift. Ooh! We got a potential Boyo Lounge entrant. It's a cool place to be. It's a very cool place to be. You have 293 Star Wars figs. Nice. Is that 293 total or 293 unique Star Wars figs? Jay, you should put some of those Imperial First Order elevator on Starkiller platform as they were in the movie. Yeah, I'm going to have basically 3 right at the front between where the first troops are standing and where the stage is. About how many minifigs would you say you have total? That's a hard question. I guess a few thousand, I would guess. A few thousand would be my guess. What's up, DP Studios? How much time in a day do you spend working on YouTube vids? I want to start, but I don't ever want to commit to the amount of time involved. I mean, if you want, I mean, there's a thing, right? If you want to just have a channel and you want to just show off your stuff and you don't necessarily care about growing your channel or generating a significant income from it, then I mean, it's just, you know, whenever you finish doing something or whenever you're inspired to make a video, you can just make a video. There's no set schedule you need to follow, but if you want to be successful, there is definitely a significant time commitment. Like, I try to upload every day, which means I spend at least a few hours every day on my YouTube, and I try to spend a few hours every day on my MOC. So, I mean, it's not really a full-time job, but I'd say I'm kind of converging on putting in full-time hours to the channel. And I mean, you gotta want to do it. If you don't think you want to put in the time, you're probably not gonna want to put in the time. So yeah, that's my input on it. Jay doesn't buy food for a week. Palpatine. Have you heard the tragedy of Jay the Wise? Have you heard the tragedy of Jay the Hungry? Appreciate that, Stormy. Did you guys check that out? The A-Fold documentary. Your boy was featured in it. It was a good time. Yo, Jay had an idea about an Old Republic ship and droid design in movies. What if they were based the case aesthetics off more retro sci-fi design tropes, but kept Star Wars mechanical bits the same? I mean, I guess I can envision a scenario in which droids are done right. I think Star Wars typically tries to avoid classic sci-fi type stuff. Star Wars is very much kind of its own type of style, so I mean, here's the thing. I don't really have a problem with the battle droid design at all. I think design of it is actually probably the best thing about battle droids. Their personality and the way they're presented is really the biggest issue with them. If you're specifically talking about, like, in the Old Republic, like, how would you kind of incorporate battle droids into that? I don't know, right? Because I don't really see a place for battle droids in the Old Republic, I guess. Yo, everybody, like, or Palpatine will come after you. Everyone like this video or Palpatine's gonna pop up in another Star Wars movie for no reason. How about that? Shout out to Owen. He says, big shot Lego designer putting together a MOC. That's basically my lifestyle. Like, I guess you compare cars from the 50s to cars in the 80s. That's more what I mean. I guess introducing a more retro style. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So basically kind of aging them down. I mean, I have no doubt that they could do that. They did it with pretty much every other droid, like the assassin droids, the T3 Astro droids. They also did it with. I'm still not really sure if battle droids, however, have a place in the Old Republic. I'd rather keep battle droids a, like, separatist thing, you know? He says, I mean, droids in general, like astromechs. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they did that, right? Like in KOTOR. You stupid little astro droid. Who here does the best battle droid impression? That's what I want to know. Roger, roger. I want it to not exist after watching Ian McDermott doing that spinny thing and Revenge of the Sith with that weird face. Don't even get me started on Sheev's spin. I agree, man. I agree. 504 Brick says, hey, what's up, Jaheim? I have something to tell you. What do you have to tell me? Chris Blank says, oh, definitely me. All right, send in a video. Send me your Battle Droid impression videos, guys. Winner will get something. I don't know what it is. I have droids and Jar Jar nailed. Oh. I think I do a decent Jar Jar impression. Will you be buying Disney Plus for the new Star Wars shows? Absolutely. That's a must. Like, there's no deliberation about that for me. It's pretty much, I'm doing it. I've been told 3 times the past week that I was using a voice changer. Like, on the phone? Are you that good of a voice actor? What YouTubers do you watch outside of Lego? People always ask this. I have a trouble explaining it because I don't know. I don't know why. I look at mostly Lego stuff, but outside of Lego, I look at sports stuff a lot. I look at wrestling stuff. So I don't know if you know of any sports or wrestling YouTubers. I'll go deeper into that, but I won't start naming people that you probably don't know. Grievous is the greatest stupid character in Star Wars. He flies in the face of what lightsaber combat should be, and I love him for that. I mean, I guess. Like, you look at the Sith Empire's battleships in KOTOR, they're just Star Destroyers but more evil looking. At least in the sequels and prequels, you can kind of follow the design lineage. I think the ship designs in KOTOR, for the most part, are pretty good. I think in the Old Republic they got out of hand. Like in a lot of cases they looked like more advanced than the ships that we'd gotten before. They looked more complicated. I generally do like the design of the ships in KOTOR though. Like my voice just changed. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. That's good. You're going through puberty. Do I need to explain to you the changes that are about to start happening with your body? Hopefully someone's already covered that for you. Have you seen Spider-Verse? No, I have not. I actually want to. I just haven't seen it. Have you considered that Jay doesn't eat food at all, but instead gets his nutrition from parts on Bricklink? That is a very good point. I eat a lot of bricks. Oh God, please no. Oh, okay. All right. What's up, Carson? I mean, I was just asking, geez. It's a confusing world out there. I want to make sure you go into it as knowledgeable as possible. Warning, this is a late night stream, so topics such as puberty will be discussed. I mean, hey, someone's got to do it. I could gripe lots of the Old Republic's wonky 5,000 years and yet no scientific change design. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care for the Old Republic at all. It was just too much. I'm sure Jay doesn't eat old MOCs. You guys ever wonder where my old MOCs go? It's right in here. I can hear the wind at your house. Yeah, where this room is situated, like, because of the covering we have over our patio, like, you can hear the wind. It's very pronounced. I'm worried about my new hire paperwork I had to do today. Why are you worried about it? Lego and puberty, name a better duo. Exactly. Benjamin says there's nothing you can say that isn't already in middle schools. Exactly, guys. When you need to wear a sweatband while building. Peak performance. Yes. It's intense, man. Sometimes you can't find a part and you gotta like look really hard for it, you know? Alright, see you, Kevin. Thanks for coming through, man. Good luck on your finals. How many of you are out of school already? I just want to see someone properly explore like what the world could be without either devolving into medieval fantasy or putting Star Wars in a blender. Yeah, I mean, there's so many rumors surrounding what the next iteration of the Old Republic is going to be, but I'm looking forward to it. Notice my comment, Jaheem. Well, you said you had to tell me something, but I never saw what you had to tell me. Has Texas weather hit 100 degrees yet? Where I live, it's at 96. No, it is not. We're probably averaging like 80 to 90 degrees right now. Shout out to Roanoke Handy Book. He says you just graduated. Finished your final year of university last month. That's awesome. Look, it's Rebel Friend. Where is Rebel Friend? Almost a senior. Nice. Me just finished first year of environmental studies at university. Now my time has been spent on more important things such as mock building. There we go. I've already gone to Atlanta for a Braves game and got a job. Oh, okay. 504 says, so Jaheim uploaded a complete saga version of Watch Me using that Grievous ship. Let me know what you think of it when you get the chance. Please notice this. I'm probably not going to remember after the stream, so send it to me on Instagram and I'll check it out. Brian Riff says, well, I love the Death Star. I wish we could move past giant super weapons. Yes! That was so... I mean, to be fair, the Star Forge wasn't a giant super weapon. It was a giant weapon creating thing, I guess you can describe it as. But it's still... We can still get past... We can move along from that. How productive is that bin system? Oh, so productive, man. That bin system is everything. I'd be such a worse builder without it. Have you ever played Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy? Yeah. Come on, really? Of course. I played all the Lego Star Wars games. What do I think of the new Lego Star Wars game? I mean, I don't know. Do we know anything about it? It was no moon. Look at that small moon. That's no moon. That's yo mama. Oh. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga is one of the best games ever. Yes, it is. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga is the Holy Bible. You just got... What did you get at a thrift store? Oh, you got the original Lego Star Wars. Oh, okay, sweet. What system did you get it on? Stormy says he's getting another build table and some stack-ons this summer. There you go. It's the thing about being a builder is you have to invest not only in your collection, but you have to invest in yourself by getting stack-ons. Chris Blank says, my organization is a combination of wall containers like what David has, plastic bags and bins, a lonely toolbox. I need a better system. I mean, I have these in front of me, but most of my parts are not in these, unfortunately. Yeah. What is the Queen Amidala thing to the ATM6? It's from the Lego Star Wars games. There's like a mosaic of Padme as Queen Amidala, so I built one in real bricks. Pretty cool. Are you in any post-secondary programs, Jay? Personally, I haven't been super stoked on continuing, and I'm looking into going full sin on a career in something Lego-related. Wow, that's awesome. I'm guessing is post-secondary grad school. Am I understanding that correctly? Don't judge me on my dreams. I mean, that's awesome. If you can make it happen, go for it. I would love for my Lego YouTube career to become an actual career. If I could just live off of this. Maybe one day. We'll see. I literally have some 89-cent busts from Walmart. That are by color. What do you, oh, you mean Ben's. Oh, okay, I get you. Jay, are you aware of who Lucas Projects is on Insta? Yes, I am. Though speaking positively, can we talk about how rad the prequel ship design was? Even if it was toyish, it did feel really outside, like what came before the OT ships, the HUD designs, though etched. Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about the prequels, the ship designs. I mean, So I found it so interesting, and I talked to like David Hall about this too. I was telling him we were on stream, and he asked me like what my favorite set was, and I was telling, my favorite set's definitely the Republic gunship, and he was like, but you hate the prequels, and I mean, you have to be able to separate the two, like. You don't have to like the prequels as films to appreciate the artwork in them, i.e. the ships, the planet designs and stuff like that, the locations. Like, I mean, I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. There's some awesome Star Wars-y stuff in those films. I'm traveling to Starkiller base in Heroes vs. Villains Battlefront 2. Nice. Favorite sport is football. It was all really unique too. Like, it all looks so different from the OT because, 20 years later, 20 years in different cultures will produce very different technology. Yeah, I mean, we just see a lot of developed, like, civilizations in the prequels. I don't think it... I mean, people will say, like, oh, like, the prequels were really creative because of that. But, I mean, if in the original trilogy they visited more places, that were inhabited as much as we see... places like in the prequels, we would have gotten more ships. Like, we got a pretty good amount of ships in the original trilogy, but I mean, they didn't need to have a new ship in every shot because we were visiting a lot of the same types of locations, if that makes sense. But the gunship looks like a sci-fi Hind helicopter. The gunship is perfect. Claude Building Studios has wins the next stream. Next stream's actually going to be on Thursday. Have I seen TK Bricks Kessel Run Millennium Falcon? Is that the minifig scale one? If the prequels had more clone battle scenes, it would have been better. I mean, I guess. It would have... I guess there would have been... It would have been better than what we got because we got so few battle scenes in the prequels. But I don't think that would make them good, if that makes sense. I think the first thing you need to attack with the prequels is the acting. Like, that's a pretty big hurdle to get over when the acting is just horrendous in your film, right? Yeah, it's so cool. I've been following it since it was the virtual design phase. Yeah, no, it's actually a pretty sweet build. I gotta plug my boy Matt the Brick Wiz's Castle Run Falcon, though. I love what he did with his. Darth Maul is great in Solo. Oh, I hated that, man. I was not a fan whatsoever. I'm so desensitized to seeing old characters pop up as surprises in new films. Like, it just means nothing to me at this point. That's why I was so grumpy about the Palpatine in Episode 9 thing. It's just like, why are we relying so heavily on the old stuff? Can we just make new stuff? That'd be cool. Getting a big haul soon. Yes! Show you, boy. Calculated Krupp says the Darth Maul part was terrible. Yeah, it was just so out of place. He pulls out his lightsaber for no reason other than to show, hey, I'm Darth Maul. And it was so pointless. I didn't need to see him in that film. Sequels need less nostalgic appeal and need to focus more on the new main characters. I find that surprising. I think they focus plenty on the new main characters. Like, there's nostalgia stuff in there. Like, there's TIE Fighters and X-Wings and stuff like that. But the new characters, I think, have plenty of time to shine. Like, if anything, the prequels focus more on characters than really any other Star Wars trilogy, on developing them at least. Like, I like to think about it this way. In the original trilogy, I'd say there were really only two characters that had arcs. I'd say Luke had an arc, and Han Solo had an arc through, like, 2 films. In Jedi, nothing really develops with Han and Jedi. In the prequels, it's pretty much just Anakin that has an arc. Like, that's it. That's the only character that kind of builds and develops. Everyone else is more or less the same person throughout the entire trilogy. In the sequels, Kylo has an arc. Rey has an arc, Finn has an arc, Poe has an arc. If you really want to get into some of the more side characters, I'd say Luke had a bit of an arc. Han had a little bit of an arc. Like, they focus far more on characters, on the new characters, than I really think any other Star Wars trilogy. Benjamin says Obi has an awesome arc in the prequels. I mean, he doesn't, though. There's nothing different about Obi-Wan's character from episode 1 to episode 3. Like, literally at all. Other than the fact that he's a Jedi Master in 3, his character, the types of decisions he makes, like, literally the exact same person. I think Yoda changed in the prequels because he knew the Jedi had to change. I mean, Yoda doesn't really change in the prequels. Like, none of those characters change. I'm not trying to make this a prequel bashing thing. I'm just saying, like, in terms of character development, like, the new trilogy focuses more on that than really any other trilogy. Which isn't bad. Like, the prequels are supposed to be a character story, right, for Anakin. The fact that he doesn't show up until 40 minutes into the first movie is kind of problematic, but, I mean, you don't need to have an arc for many characters. I'm just saying the new trilogy does that. What's up, Brick City Whips? What's going on, man? Owen says, I think the only place we could possibly get an Obi arc is in a solo movie, which I'm not crazy about. I mean, they could have given us an Obi-Wan arc in the prequels if they really wanted. They just didn't. George didn't really seem too focused or interested in developing anyone aside from Anakin. Which, like I said, if done right, is fine, but we spend so much time with other characters, they just don't really develop. Which kind of makes it hard to get interested in the things they're doing, right? B-Brick Studio says, what I don't like about The Last Jedi is this. They botched Luke. We spent a whole movie of him going up to the second most evil man in the galaxy to turn him good just because he was his father. I mean, I've kind of talked about that before. I'm actually totally fine with Luke in The Last Jedi. Also, I find it interesting that so many people lay Luke and the way he was all on The Last Jedi, considering it was The Force Awakens that decided to put him, like, on the cliff, secluded by himself. So, I mean, he couldn't have just been hanging out there for no reason. Then Rey shows up and he's like, oh, I'm ready to go. Like, a character like Luke would need a pretty good reason to go do that. So I thought that Ryan's interpretation of him was fine given what he was given to work with. So, if anything, if you don't like Luke, I would put that more on Force Awakens. But more specifically, I like to think about it this way. So, yeah, a big part of Luke's development in the original trilogy was him having to confront his father and seeing the good in him. But that was a choice he was willing to die with. Like, he believed in it enough to die. And, I mean, he could have. Darth Vader ended up being redeemed. But at that point, a lot of the bad things that Vader did had already been done, right? Like, it's a lot easier for me to say, oh, I believe in my dad, I can turn him, after the fact, than, oh, my dad might be bad, I might be the cause of it, am I willing to let this happen and count on that at some point he will become good again? Which is a hard decision for him to make, right? Like, he was saying, I may be the cause of a new Darth Vader. Like, if you asked Luke if he would rather stop Vader up front before he did anything bad, or wait for him to come around and prevent all the bad things and, like, still let the bad things he did happen, I don't know if Luke would still go that route. I think if he had the ability and could have prevented Vader from becoming bad and prevented him from doing all those awful things, I think he would probably go that route. So when he's faced with the challenge of, okay, I have Kylo here in front of me, he might end up going bad, maybe it's not so easy for him to just be like, I see the good in him. Because, I mean, if the whole big thing in Jedi is, you know, Luke lays down his lightsaber. He's not going to strike down his father. He won't really give in to the dark side, which works in his favor. But I mean, Luke's a refined Jedi by the time by the time of Episode 8. So like, I don't know. I think it's not as easy as one would make it seem. Like, I can see kind of the challenge for Luke there. And I mean, ultimately he made a bad decision and he recognizes that, but our characters aren't perfect. I mean, none of them are. Leia might be the one character who doesn't have so much to learn by the time we get to 7 and 8, but I mean, Han still does, and I think it's fine that Luke still learning things by the time we get to Episode 7 and 8. In fact, his interaction with Yoda, I thought, was one of the best parts of all of Star Wars. So, I don't know. I'm cool with it. I like it. I've been talking a lot. We've had a lot of activity in the chat, so let me go back through. I saw one particular message I wanted to respond to. He says, I completely disagree with your statement about character development in the sequel. I shouldn't read it like that. I'll respect you enough to read your comment like a sensible person. It says, Rey is such an irredeemable Mary Sue who was good at everything with no prior training. Is it even worth talking about it again? I need to just like make a recording of my just basic response to the Mary Sue argument, to the no training argument, and just play it back every time someone mentions it. Because it is kind of exhausting talking about it. Benjamin says, the Clone Wars shows what George Lucas meant to convey but fell short. With the Clone Wars, the prequels start to feel less thrown together, a lot more intricate. But that's true, but I would attribute that more to Dave Filoni's direction. Like, at a certain point, it was pretty much Dave Filoni was all his stuff. Like, right, he was the one doing the Clone Wars. Like, towards the beginning, the Clone Wars wasn't amazing or super deep. It didn't really get to that point towards the end of the show. So I wouldn't give George too much credit for the Clone Wars show. I mean, a lot of it like were his ideas, but the execution, I'd give credit more to Dave Filoni for that. Like, giving clones actual personalities and giving our main characters more stuff to deal with, you know? There's still a bunch of stuff I don't really agree with in the Clone Wars. Like, I don't agree with Ahsoka being Anakin's Padawan. I don't know, that's a hard sell on explaining to me why Anakin would be given a Padawan as a Jedi Knight when we meet him in Episode 3 when he's a Jedi Master. Like, they still don't trust him. They don't trust him they didn't even trust him to be a Jedi Master, right? So, like, why would they trust him with a Padawan? Like, they sense great danger in this person. Why would they allow him to kind of mold a new Jedi? I don't know. I never agreed with that at all. Ahsoka ended up being a good character. I like Ahsoka. She could have just been someone else's Padawan. I think maybe what you could do, if you need to have Ahsoka and you need to give her a relationship with Anakin, have her as someone else's Padawan and her master dies, and she just kind of Anakin ends up taking her under her wing. So there's no, like, official, like, Padawan master relationship, but Anakin kind of has to be the one to step up because her master is gone. That's, I guess, a way I can kind of justify why they would even allow Anakin to have a Padawan, especially since when we get to Episode 3, they still don't trust him. Let's see who we got. Let's talk to the chat. What would you rather see in a mock accurate figs to the correct scene or well done creative building? I guess building. Well done creative building. I mean, I love me some figs that are positioned well. For example, if you're gonna do like Rebels, right? Like, use some creativity. Like, don't just put the Rebel from the set in there. Like, switch some faces around. Like, Rebels are ragtag. Portray that through your mock. All right. I don't know why there's a head over here. I'm guessing it rolled. Jay, do you think that Raptors will win against Golden State? Nope. It's going to be a sweep, my guy. Ahsoka could have been Obi-Wan's Padawan so she could be close to Anakin. I mean, I don't really agree with that because I don't know. I wouldn't do that personally. Let's see what we got. What do you think about the rule of two? So I actually don't like the rule of two. The idea of it, I think, is fine. Like, I just don't think where they tried to fit it in really made sense. So, like, if you look at the original trilogy and the Emperor and Vader's... Oh, this one's... Hold on. Why is this... This print is, like, slightly messed up. Anyways, that's so weird. Oh, it's just... I can't even tell what's wrong, but it looks wrong. It's definitely wrong. Anyways, what do I have against the rule of two? So, in the original trilogy, they set it up as, like... Oh, Luke can be a powerful ally. We need him on our team. We can use him. But it was never implied like that there would have to be some sort of. I guess it was never implied that like there only could be two Sith at that point, right? Like it was never discussed between Vader and the Emperor. Oh, like. Luke will have to challenge you and the winner will be my apprentice, or you two will try to challenge. You know, like Vader kind of does that to him. He's like, we can rule the galaxy as father and son. But I saw that more as like him just saying, you know, I can become the ultimate power. I didn't really attribute that to any sort of Sith rule specifically. I just felt he probably would rather be the ultimate leader, and with his son by his side, he could probably achieve that. But just kind of shoehorning in like, oh, there's only two Sith, that just seems to go against Emperor and Vader's entire plan in the original trilogy, which was essentially just to recruit Luke, right? So I don't know. It was just so unnecessary. I guess they needed a reason for like, why would Palpatine only have one apprentice? Why would he not just get a bunch of people and challenge the Jedi? But there could have been a better reason for it, because it went against what they set up in the original trilogy. Emperor knew Vader would bring Luke to him, and he knew he'd have them duel, whichever one won. But that wasn't. I mean, it ended up happening that way but I don't think the Emperor would have let Luke kill Vader if he could. I don't see that. I think the way they were kind of playing Luke together, right? Like they're like, we need to get him to like tap into the dark side, then he'll be ours. And Vader wasn't gonna kill his son. Like he specifically says, he will join us or die. That means he's either going to join us, so you, me, and Luke, or just me and you if Luke doesn't want to join us. Not he will join you or he will join me, right? Like, I feel like that line alone kind of goes against the notion of the rule of two. Geonosis MOC with original clone troopers from 02 and 03. I mean, I got me some nostalgia for those guys, but I think the most recent clone troopers are the best ones. I think he would have, then Luke would have fully turned and been more powerful than Vader. I don't know. I think that line where he says he will join us or die pretty clearly implies that it would be a trifecta of them, not just two. Join us was a lie. Right, but it was a lie to the Emperor, but it still implied that was their plan, right? Like, why if the Emperor knew all along, like, there can only be two of us, why would he accept Vader saying join us? Like it just doesn't go together. Like you have to do more work to explain why it would than just taking the movie for what it tells you. I sent you the hauls I'll be getting. I'll check it out after the stream. Return of Kermit Gang. Shout out to Kermit Gang. The Emperor said it to deceive Vader. I mean, do you know that? Like, give me some proof from the film that that's the case. He knew Vader's weakness would be his own son. Yeah, he knew that, and like part of them confronting him was that, but still, like, in their conversations together, it was never implied that Luke and Vader would have to be at odds to like join the Emperor's side. And if that just wouldn't even make sense just from Vader's perspective, right? Like, if Vader knows it's gonna be either me or him, like, why would he even bring him in front of the Emperor as trying to recruit? It just doesn't make sense. Like from Vader's point of view, it wouldn't make sense. From what we hear in the film, it doesn't make sense. Like, I get there are arguments to be made, but it just, I don't know. Like, you have to do. There's way too much convincing you have to do. Like, the movie seems to be pretty clear with what it's trying to convey to us. Jedi Bob says, "What's up? What's going on, man? It's been a while I've seen you." No Luke is worth 2 Sith, not by a long shot. I love it. Exactly. No Luke is worth 2 Sith, not by a long shot. Siegel, why do you think you're about to die? Alright, see ya, Brick Kid. I would definitely let you know when I get those figs. Brick City Whip says it was a safe move for the Emperor to have Luke brought to him. He knew Luke was his biggest threat. Yeah, but still, that still doesn't get at the rule of 2. I think their impression was he will either join us because he's powerful, or we will kill him because he will be a threat to us. It was not he will join one of us because we can only have 2 Siths. Owen says, "God darn, love these streams. They're so chill and stuff. I wish I had a place in real life that talked about Star Wars as casually." I mean, I have Garrett, so I'm in a unique position to where we can talk pretty extensively and in-depth about Star Wars, but I definitely get the sentiment. Jedi Bob says, "Recently I've been losing interest in Star Wars, and I don't know why. Help me." I mean, I think you probably just weren't really a fan from the beginning. I think you like Halo and Harry Potter more. I mean, that just seems the case from what I've seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can like what you want to like. Jedi Bob, remember the Lego Droid, then you'll get back into Star Wars. That is true. They should do add-ons to the originals. Wouldn't Vader have noticed he killed Padme, but she still managed to deliver twins? Vader doesn't seem stupid. I mean, in that case, it shouldn't be an add-on to the originals. He should have just done it right in the prequels. He never intended on having 2 apprentices. He knew one of them would destroy each other. Either way it went down, it would be beneficial to him. Game of chess. That's not what was implied. Like, that may have been his underlying motivation, but that's not something they're adhering to. Like, if it's established that there can only be 2 of us, that would be reflected in their conversation. Palpatine may think, like, oh, I can put them at odds, but even from his point of view, like, why would he want them at odds? If Palpatine had the ability to have Luke and Vader on his side, why would he only want one? OJ, what did you think of Double or Nothing? I did not watch it, but I watched reviews of it, and it seemed pretty good. What's your favorite pop? Like, the pop figures? I don't have one because I don't own a pop figure, and I don't have any intention on collecting them. I definitely like Star Wars better, but I haven't seen or played anything Halo. I've only seen a few of the Harry Potter movies. Oh, Star Wars is definitely better. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about it from Jedi Bob's perspective. What are your thoughts on the Scene 38 recreation? Is that the, like, Obi-Wan fighting Vader? Is that what that is? Like soda. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I try not to drink soda. If I have to, I will, but I don't really care for soda. Soda hurts. I don't like eating or drinking things that are... I mean, that's not true. I like spicy food, but you get the point. I don't care for soda too much. I do not like Halo or Harry Potter more than Star Wars. You gotta show me that, man. You gotta show me. I mean, you don't really have to, but I don't know. Joe Weiler says, none of this was set up before the original, so it really doesn't make sense to try to justify the characters' actions based on these concepts that were made up in the prequels. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why the rule of two doesn't fit. Like, that clearly was not what they had in mind in the originals. And it kind of goes against what they do. Like, you can try to rationalize it, but I think from what we hear, it's pretty clear, like, that's not what they were going for. Do you play any sports, and what's your favorite? Do not play any sports, but my favorite sport is some good old football. Could you imagine if Grievous was a Sith Lord? If he had 4 red lightsabers? I never understood that. Like, I don't... Like... The problem also with the rule of two is that they even, like, contradict it in what we see. Like, Grievous says in episode 3, like, oh, I was taught by Count Dooku your Jedi arts. And it's like, wait, what? Like, why? Why is that okay? Why is that a thing? Like, if there's a rule of two, like, why is Palpatine able to just train someone as... I mean, he says in the Jedi arts, but he clearly meant as a Sith. Like, why is that okay? Joe, like, can I, I'm gonna, like, take a screenshot of what Joe Weiler just said, because that is exactly how I feel. Like, he says, that's why channels like Star Wars Theory bug me. They're all about trying to justify continuity errors that George created with his incompetence. Exactly. Like, people will try to, you know, rationalize things that happened in the prequels, but, like, a lot of those circumstances, George painted himself in that corner. Grievous was a general and had no force power. Yeah, I know, but still, like why is that okay though? Like, he's an apprentice, but not really an apprentice. I mean, Asajj was an apprentice as well. Like, why was that okay? Grievous wasn't trained to be a Sith. He was just trained to kill Jedi. His motivations just lined up with the Sith. Okay, that's fair. I can buy that. They were just kind of using him as a weapon. But then, like, where do you draw the line? Like, is that not also the case? I don't know. Like, where do you draw the line between, like, Dooku using Grievous to, like, kill Jedi and get what he wants, and, like, the Emperor using Maul to kill Jedi and get what he wants? You see what I mean? Like, how is it any different other than that Grievous happens to not have force powers? Ventress was an assassin, like Grievous, a weapon. But still, once again, like, was Maul not also an assassin? What did you think of the Star Wars Theory Vader film? I didn't care for it at all. So Dooku had acolytes, and Ventress and Savage, and Palpatine had Maul. But that's different, right? Because Maul was a Sith apprentice. Ventress and Savage, weren't apprentices, but for all intents and purposes, they were. Point being, it seems to contradict the rule of two. Like, why make this rule if you're going to contradict it? That's my point. 5 says it's different. I mean, how is it different? That's what I'm asking. Like, where's the line drawn? I'm willing to, like, listen to arguments. I personally am not seeing how it's different. Says Dooku did train Savage in the Sith arts. That's true. So once again, why? What is the difference between? Like, how is this consistent with the rule of two? Is my question. How does this not contradict the rule of two? The problem with all of this is, like, why did they have to, like, what was the point of making the rule of 2? That's what, I think that's the point I'm making in this. It was unnecessary. Like, maybe if you don't have the rule of 2, it raises the question, okay, why doesn't Palpatine, like, take more people under his wing to become Sith? But, I mean, you can easily explain that as just, like, being a Sith is hard. Palpatine he's trying to, like, be a senator, but also be a Sith Lord. Maybe he doesn't have the ability to just go out there and find people. He found Maul, and that was sufficient. He didn't want to expose himself too much. Boom. No need of the rule of 2. Let's see who we got. This is some good conversation. So B-Break says the prequels and sequels both have continuity errors. As bad as the prequels are, the sequels kind of suffer from the same problems. I don't see that. If you could explain to me, like, continuity errors the way that, at the level of what we're discussing, I'd love to hear them, but there's nothing apparent to me of, like, big continuity errors that the sequels have. Read this. The rule of 2 was meant to prevent infighting that the old Sith Empire had. Yeah, I agree. However, the goal of the apprentices was to beat the master. The best way of doing this was with an apprentice. Yeah, I absolutely, like, I understand that. But that's the thing, right? Like, if the rule of 2 is a thing, why is... I feel like the apprentice part should come after the fact, right? Like, if the master knows that, oh, like, my apprentice has got another person that might try to kill me, why would the master not just kill them right there? Like, why would he allow them to train and then try to come after him? Like, I just don't see a need to have the rule of 2. It just seems to create more problems than it's worth. And I agree, the Inquisitors, about the Inquisitors thing, it's like, because we have the rule of 2, they have to be Sith Inquisitors. And, it just seems to create more issues than it's worth. Like, we don't need the rule of 2. B-Break says, Jay, after the stream, I want you to promise you'll watch a certain video. Look up the Word of Wolf Last Jedi. It brings up great points about The Last Jedi that I don't want to get... You're not going to get banned for saying stuff about The Last Jedi. If I'm allowed to talk crap about the prequels, you can talk crap about The Last Jedi. We'll have the conversation. It's fine. Dooku was never intended to see the Empire, and Maul was, but the circumstances dictated that Anakin was. What do you mean he was never intended to see the Empire? Please explain that one to me. I'm working on a Hoth MOC, and I'm curious if you have any tips. Also, right now, the MOC is one base plate. Curious, I should make it any bigger. I mean, you can do a one base plate Hoth MOC. I like the idea of maybe having a Snowspeeder and an ATST. Those are good one base plate sized vehicles you can incorporate. Or you can do a trench and just have some rebels posted up. There's plenty of stuff you can do. The Master knows that there's an apprentice, but as seen with Palpatine versus Maul and Savage, the Master is usually stronger than the apprentice and the assassin combined. Well, Maul wasn't his apprentice at that point. No one has a problem with Dirge. Grievous has nothing to do with the Force and is just a tool. I mean, Dirge isn't even canon anymore. One fact I bet no one knew is Vader is actually Luke's father. Whoa. No spoilers in the chat. Don't spoil. I still haven't seen episode 5 yet, guys. Nah, but he brings up great points that are hard to explain. That vid is almost 40 minutes long. Oh my god. I mean, just crystallize it for me. Star Wars is a convoluted mess. I mean, it was fine until episode 6. Episode 6 started bringing up some problems. The first big problem was Leia being related to Luke. Like, that... I don't agree with that. That might be one of the worst decisions that has ever been made for Star Wars. We don't see any other good examples. That's why I use Maul, and I've seen the comics Maul was actually stronger than Dooku. Well, until they realized Maul was so popular and brought him back from death, means there were 3 Darths at one point. Well, he wasn't. After Maul got killed, I guess he wasn't Darth Maul at that point. He was just Maul. I feel like channels like Star Wars Theory try and explain justified bad writing by talking about stuff as it's intelligently done and had a grand design all along. Someone mentioned that earlier. I think it was Joe Weiler? But basically, yeah. Jay, just please watch that video. I mean, I really don't want to. You're gonna have to convince me to watch it. So, like, bring up points if I think it's like, wow, that's a good point. I'll check out the video. Thanks for all the tips. Also, I don't have a snow speeder for the mock, except I do have some walkers. Also, I was thinking about doing an entrance to the base. That could work too. Dooku was there to be the face of the Separatists in the Clone Wars. Sheev already had his eye on Anakin, but he still needed to turn him. Dooku's death in Revenge of the Sith essentially shows the realization of this. Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. As much as I like Ewoks, it's hard to believe those stone clubs are killing stormtroopers. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I agree. I love being here. There's positivity, and Jay smiling and laughing makes me too. So thank you for streaming all this next day. I'm so glad to hear that. That brings warm feelings to my heart. I'm glad Luke and Leia are brother and sister. It was an awesome surprise. I mean, it was a surprise to be sure, but in my opinion, an unwelcome one. It was just so unnecessary. Like, the biggest problem is they kissed. That's not really the biggest problem. That is a problem. But the bigger problem is it created this incessant need for characters to be related to people. And every time we find a new character, it's who are they related to? How does this person connect to everything else? And I just hate that expectation. Remember that one time Maul captured Dooku and Grievous, then teamed up to fight the Republic? I did not read that comic. Rose's sister is standing on a ramp above the vacuum of space. There's no visible shield protecting her, but she can breathe fine. Ryan doesn't know how space works. I mean, I'm fine with believing there could have been a shield that just wasn't visible. I mean, come on, this is 30 years down the line. I could believe it. I'm really excited about getting some clone sets again and the new Clone Wars season. I'm excited about getting new clone sets for sure. Also complain about science in Star Wars is stupid. Yeah, like that's so petty. Like, it's whatever. Jedi can move things with their minds. It's fine. It's whatever. Like, I'm much more fine with, like, maybe they forgot to put a shield in there to explain why she can breathe in the Resistance bomber than, we came up with this concept that totally, like, just breaks characters' motivations in an entire trilogy. Says Dirge isn't canon, but no one's ever said he violates the rule of 2. I mean, I feel like you're thinking of Grievous all wrong if you say that he's a fear-mongering figurehead of the CIS. I mean, the point is that, where do you draw the line? Like, if a Sith is allowed to, if the apprentice is allowed to train someone and use them to their advantage, and the master knows about it, why, like, how does that not go against the rule of 2? Like, at what point are we just having a third person? And then maybe down the line we'll try to overthrow you, but in the meantime we're still using them like they're a member of the team. We're not doing this in secret. Like, their motivations are still in line with mine, you know? I swear, if I hear there's no gravity in space, how do bomb works tonight? I'm gonna yeet into the sun. Don't even get me started with that. Why does one of your moderators have 6'9" in his name? That's, I guess, his favorite number. I don't know. I see no problem with that. Integral Bricks hyperspace ramming. That was a good conversation. B Brick Studio says, in the Canto Bight subplot leads to nowhere. Sure, there's the fact that they got a code breaker, but he betrayed them anyway. It has no satisfying payoff, and if you took it out, the movie would be the same. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with saying just because something didn't plan out the way they wanted it to, or it didn't benefit them, that it's pointless. Like, there were things that happened on that planet that developed the characters, like Finn kind of seeing things for what they are, because before that point he was all about running. And I'm not saying Canon Bight's perfect. It's not. It's not even great. But I mean, DJ betraying them is fine. Like in Empire, they went there to get the Falcon fixed. Lando betrayed them. I mean, there was not really a payoff there. Like Luke happened to be fighting Vader on Cloud City, but I don't know. I would say that those two things are analogous to each other. Like, it's, I don't know. It gave us a great May the 4th figure. Well, DJ wasn't even the May the 4th figure. It was a good figure. It wasn't May the 4th, though. The Boyo rule. That's something I've not heard in a long time. Yes, everyone's talking about the rule of 2. How about the rule of Boyo? Jay, could I hang out on one of the streams soon? Yeah, absolutely, man. I haven't seen you around, but for sure. Because Grievous isn't a Sith and he has no motivation to connect with the Force, he was trained in combat by Dooku, that's it. Okay, like, that's fine. Okay, I'll give you... Okay, he didn't have the Force, so that, I guess, is still consistent with the rule of 2. But what about Asajj? What about the Inquisitors? It was pointless, though. He learns to not run, but he learned the same lesson that The Force Awakens, so it contradicts him as a character. No, he did not learn that lesson in The Force Awakens. When they get to Starkiller Base, he tells him, like, oh, I'm just here to get Rey. And then Han kind of pressures him into figuring out the, like... And he kind of pressures him into helping them get the shields down, but that still didn't change his motivation to just find Rey and get away. So no, I would not say Finn learned that lesson in The Force Awakens. You can't really get a bunch of conspiracies. That's like saying, I mean, Han Solo runs and comes back, but he still tries to run again in Empire. That's like saying it was pointless to have it. It was pointless to have the dynamic of him trying to run again in Empire. Yes, he did. He was a coward in The Force Awakens, and he grew out of that. No, he didn't. At no point had Finn committed to the Resistance in The Force Awakens. That's why when The Last Jedi begins, and he realizes, like, oh crap, there's no way we're gonna get out of this. Like, let me find a way for Rey and me to go away. Xavier says Finn realizes he has something to fight for in The Last Jedi, ending his running away arc. Yeah, exactly. Like, it just so happened that, like, he kind of got pressured by Han to help out the Resistance, but he didn't commit to them at that point. His commitment to the Resistance doesn't happen until The Last Jedi. At no point in The Force Awakens are you led to believe, like, oh, Finn is all about the Resistance now. It just, I mean, he knew, like, Han Solo wasn't going to let him off that planet unless they figured out a way to get the shields down. Jay, please watch this video. It's obviously not working on you. I really think he can change your mind. I'll think about it. How about that? I'll think about it. The new Star Wars movies definitely have some Disney magic. Some random girl who just discovers the Force is a thing Defeats a Force user who has been using it his entire life. Ooh. I love how that's Disney magic, but a 9-year-old blowing up a Trade Federation ship is believable. I don't get the movie such as Solo, Rogue One. They don't really fit into a trilogy. Thoughts? I mean, they're literally not supposed to be in the trilogy. They're spinoffs. They're supplementary material. But his midichlorians, ugh. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on midichlorians. Y'all, as a TLJ lover, can I talk about problems I had that people don't talk about? Too much focus is put on how you're not supposed to trust Holdo, but she doesn't actually have that much of a character. I mean, she has a character. Like, she talks down to Poe. You kind of learn what kind of person she is. But, I don't know, it's... The payoff on, like, the Holdo reveal kind of fell flat. Like, it could have been a bigger deal if it just played out differently, I guess. Jay, here's the thing. No one said a 9-year-old blowing up a space station was normal. It's dumb, but so is Rey defeating Kylo in The Force Awakens. Okay. I don't. So the point is neither are dumb. Our protagonist can be powerful, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I still contend that if Kylo Ren tried to kill Rey, if his intentions were to kill Rey in The Force Awakens, he probably could. He was merely interested in training her, and she caught him off guard. As we've seen, lightsaber battles are not always about who's more powerful. It's not. In hand-to-hand combat, I think Darth Maul probably would kill Obi-Wan in Episode 1. That ends up not being the case because Maul gets a little overconfident, but it happens. And that's fine. It's not dumb. That's why Palpatine was more powerful than Vader, because he lost a lot of his midichlorians when he lost limbs. Please tell me that was a joke. I am begging you to tell me that was a joke. Benjamin Stewart says, Anakin blowing up the ship in Episode 1 made sense since he's been flying his whole life and he won the pod race. Mainly, he's the most powerful being in the galaxy. Okay, fine. I will agree with you on that. But you have to give Rey the same benefit of the doubt because she has been literally fighting her whole life. Just because she has the Force doesn't mean she doesn't know how to fight with a blunt object. Like, clearly we see that. She uses a staff. Do you think we'll see a Solo sequel? No, I don't. I know he was signed on for 3 movies, but those types of things can change. I would assume we're not going to see a Solo sequel. Anakin never flew his whole life. He did pod racing. I mean, he could have been flying other stuff before that. I don't know. He had a very short life to that point. I thought it was funny, but it also sounds illogical to me. Ugh. If that's the case, if you can make someone less powerful in the Force by cutting off their limbs. Oh boy. So did Darth Maul lose half his power when he got cut in half? That's actually a really good point. Okay, if midichlorians are literally the things flowing through your bloodstream, right? I would assume that it's like evenly distributed, right? Like there's some up here, there's some in the middle, there's some at the bottom, there's some in my feet. So if my foot gets cut off and I get a robot foot, does my blood automatically know to regenerate midichlorians to account for that? That's actually a good point. That's a great point. Let's talk about that, guys. What's up, Jack the Rebel? So Dooku is a less powerful head now. I mean, it could be. My mind is blown. Who brought that up? Was it hold Hold on, who is it? Who brought up the Midi-chlorian and limb thing? I don't remember who it was. Make yourself visible. I think we're really nailing something here, guys. But Anakin lost an arm in Attack of the Clones, so wouldn't he be less of a chosen one? I mean, he could be. Jay, I know you think the fight between Maul and Sidious was stupid, but do you think Maul could have lasted longer if he didn't get cut in half? I mean, yeah, that's the problem with Maul. After he got cut in half and he got his robo legs, he didn't realize that he had fewer midichlorians at that point, right? Also, couldn't you make a Jedi significantly less powerful if you, like, stab them with, like, a knife or just cut them? Just make an incision. Better yet, while they're sleeping, send a robot in to suck out their blood and replace it with someone else's blood of the same type. Do all the midichlorians go away at that point? Yo, that's wild, bro. That's wild. Oh my god. Wow. So if a Jedi... Look, listen to this, guys. Okay, if a Jedi has a horrific injury, if a Jedi is in, like, a speeder crash, and they are horribly damaged, right? And the Jedi, like, loses a lot of blood, and their blood has to be transfused, right? And you give them someone else's blood, but that person's blood is not filled with midichlorians. Does that make the person no longer force sensitive? And Ignacio brings up a good point too. He says you can make any person force sensitive by a blood transfusion. That is so wild, bro. Oh my god. Black market for force sensitive blood tinge. Yo, that's crazy. Holy crap, guys. I think we may have just figured out the coolest thing ever. Oh my god. I should just end the stream on that. There is no way the rest of the stream can live up to what we just figured out. Wow. Guys. Chris Blake, new video for Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Display. Yo, seriously? Oh my god. Wow. Everything I know is a lie. I don't trust anyone anymore. Wow. Whew. That was so deep. Like, my mind is spinning right now. Colonel Yularen says, imagine the midichlorian density in Yoda due to his small size. Yo, that's so true. That's so true. I love Joe's comment. He says, midichlorians are key to all of this. They're a stupider concept than we've ever had before if we get them working, pretty much. See, this is why midichlorians are dumb. This entire conversation is why midichlorians are dumb. Do you think that theoretically the midichlorians recognize a suitable host and don't originate in the bloodstream? So if a limb is cut off, they will travel back to the living host? Sure, that could be true. But is there... I guess what I would say is... How exactly does that work then? Like, we have to take into account the midichlorian density, right? And even if they don't originate in the bloodstream, like, if your arm gets cut off, like, there's blood in your arm, like, those organisms are in that arm that just got severed. They're not in your current arm. I mean, truth be told, if they're microscopic organisms, whether or not they start in the host or come from somewhere else and go into the host, you can theoretically inject them, right? After someone dies, the midi-chlorians die with him/her. That, I would assume they have to, right? Because after Qui-Gon dies, he's still, like, practicing, like, we have Force ghosts, right? If you didn't have the Force, you wouldn't be able to be a Force ghost, right? But then they would pick up dead Jedi. Yo, if I saw a dead Jedi, I'm going for the blood. The normal people would pick up dead Jedi and make sushi. Exactly. The midi-chlorians probably go with the spirit, not die. I mean, they'd have to. There'd have to be some way to connect the midi-chlorians to the aura of you for you to be able to, like, you know, communicate with the Jedi and still do Jedi stuff after you die. See, the thing is, the Force binds all living things, so everybody has midi-chlorians. Right, but the point we're making is some people have more than others, and that's what determines your power levels, apparently. Rich boy becomes a Force vampire. 720p. There we go. Like, how did the midi-chlorians get there in the first place? In Anakin's case, Shmi was not Force sensitive. Newborn blood comes from mother's blood. Midi-chlorians travel somehow outside of the blood then. Yeah, that's a good point. But if they can do that, then could you not just harness midi-chlorians and inject them into something? So here's the problem. I think this is what it all boils down to. I mean, this is all crazy theories, and obviously it's dumb, but it's hilarious, so we'll talk about it. But if we are to assume that the midi-chlorians have to, like, start somewhere, probably outside of the body, and they go to something, I guess maybe a suitable host, and apparently that's what gives them their power, or makes them more Force sensitive, then the midi-chlorians don't really matter in the first place. There's something else about that person that makes them more Force sensitive. So then it begs the question, why have the midi-chlorians in the first place? Chris Blake says, wait, did we loop this all around just to draw the conclusion of what's exactly the same thing of what Qui-Gon explains in The Phantom Menace? Kind of, but we're taking it to another level. That's the idea. It's like, okay, apparently we're stuck with midi-chlorians. How do we, like, what can we do with this, right? Benjamin Stewart says, wait, so rich people can just buy their kids into the Jedi using Force-sensitive blood like celebrities buy their kids in the fancy college? Yes, exactly! Exactly! Do you think, like, when you submit your application to the Jedi Academy, you have to, like, submit your midi-chlorian count, like an SAT score? And that's how they can determine whether or not you get in. Brander says, yeah, I love how much of a fun conversation has come out of one of the dumbest ideas in Star Wars. Your streams are legendary. Thank you. This is so fun, guys. This might be one of the best streams I've ever had. Oh my god, guys. Ah, man. Says, Jay, I've taken into account your side of the argument, so please take into consideration mine. To understand, we need to understand both sides. I mean, I responded to your comments. I didn't just disregard what you said, if that's what you mean. FBI is going to hunt us down for knowing too much. Yes. FBI is going to come into the chat. FBI, open up. Dayton says, the Jedi kidnap children, force them into a life where they're surrounded by thick Jedi like Ayla and weren't allowed to smash. It's child abuse. True. Yo, Dane, we just had, like, the best conversation. So, for those of you who weren't around, think about it like this. Think about this. I think it was DS in the chat who initially kind of posited the idea, which is, okay, if midichlorians are microscopic organisms in your bloodstream, if you get cut in half, you effectively use half your blood. Even if that's replaced with robo-legs, there's a lower amount of blood in you. And those midichlorians had to be, we would assume there were more midichlorian, they're not just all clustered in one area, like they're consistently distributed throughout your body. So if you lose that blood, you lose midichlorians that would effectively bring down your force powers. What it also means is you can have your body injected with Jedi blood, and you can become more force sensitive. How can you miss these in-depth discussions on Star Wars? Yeah, dude, this is like brain food. Like I said, B-Bricks, I might watch the video. I mean, that's me not watching the video isn't me not taking your point into account. Like, the arguments I made weren't contingent on you watching some video. Like, I just told you, like, this is what I feel. So if you have something to say, or if you feel a certain way, you can make that point, and I will absolutely listen to you. Dayton says, yeah, that's actually a really good point. I don't think they will dive into it, though, because so many people hate the concept. I mean, yeah, the point of us diving into this is it further shows us how dumb the midichlorians were in the first place. That's the whole point behind this. Moral of the story is midichlorians should not have been introduced. I may have to do, like, just a video on this, because this is truly mind-blowing. Malbrick says, maybe the midichlorians leave the blood of cut off limbs and latch on to a new host or the same. And I understand, Jay, let's stop talking about the last Jedi. It's actually making me tired. That's fine. We don't have to talk about it. You seen my old Starkiller base build by any chance? No, I have not. Send it to me. I'll check it out. Shoot it to me on Instagram. We could be better than Star Wars Theory. Yes, we'll call it Boyo Theory. It'll be a channel run by all of us. Wait, how do death sticks lessen your force abilities? How do they mess with the midichlorians? Do death sticks actually lessen your force abilities? I watched a clip of the midichlorian scene on YouTube, and Qui-Gon legit says a blood test. Yeah, exactly. The green stuff's from Savage Oppress is flying midichlorians. Nah, bro, that was Sith smoke. Zabrak smoke. Fun fact, Savage Oppress was actually a heavy smoker. Oh my god, Jade, Boyo Theory just being a channel where you make nonsense, ridiculous theories would be amazing. Yo, I might have to consider that. Sith Ganja, exactly. I mean, if you look at Savage's eyes, you can tell he was lit 24/7. He was lit off that green stuff, the good stuff. Says, I don't remember where it was, but it's a fact in books that since lessen your connection to the Force. Like, permanently? That is hilarious. Sent you the link. Okay, cool, I'll check it out. Did you hear David Hall's during the Siege of Mandalore? Yes, I did. Can't wait to see it. Make sure we copyright our crazy ideas. Yes, we need to. Someone file a patent for Boyo theories. Man, the father in Clone Wars must have midichlorians instead of blood. That's a good point. He probably does. Do you think death sticks have the same effect of weed or cocaine? Apparently it's worse because it permanently lessens your affinity to the Force. You know that Zabrak smoke affects younglings' brain development. 25% of younglings affected each year. Yo, don't inhale the Zabrak smoke. It'll have you messed up. Permanent brain damage. On Boyo Theory, you can have certain episodes with topics and different people. Yes. Boyo Theories. It works out, too, because Boyo is a Star Wars word, so, like, it's a thing for us, but it still makes it... it doesn't make it obvious it's a Star Wars channel, but it still implies it's a Star Wars channel. Death sticks are like the meth equivalent. Yes. And yes, I do watch the NBA. Whew, man, tonight's stream... I want to thank all of you for being here and making this stream amazing. Hey, shout out to DanDan6151 with the $2 donation. He simply says, Oopa. Tell me you haven't destroyed the ATM6. No, I have not destroyed it. It's just sitting there. The legs are still kind of broken from the last time I traveled with it, but I have not purposefully destroyed it. Have you heard the tale of Count Dracula the Wise? It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. No, they would not. You streamed through my workout, but I listened to the whole thing. I'm glad. It was a good time. What is your take on the Patriots? Oh, I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. Jay, I swallowed a soda tab. Should I be worried? How did you do that? Did you literally, like, suck it off the top of the can? It held up 20 kilograms. Yeah. Yeah, that thing's sturdy. It probably could have held up. I'm almost convinced I can sit on it. Probably not, but I'd like to think so. I would never try that, but I think a small child could sit on the ATM6. Shout out to DanDan6151 again. He says, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Someone get this man some life alert. Favorite NBA team is definitely the Rockets. I'm from Houston. B. Spam M if you want Jay to eat something. Please don't spam anything. There needs to be a penalty for people encouraging other people to spam. Please don't spam the chat, guys. We're having a good substantive Boyo conversation. Arsenal or Chelsea, mate? I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know anything about soccer. There's a Lego reality TV show in Australia. They did a bridge episode where they got to 100 kilograms. Holy crap. That's pretty dope. Wait, Darth Maul needs life alert. Oof! Yo, that'd be a funny skit. Darth Maul, like, falls down, and he's, like, horribly crippled at the bottom, and his legs are, like, bent the opposite way, and he presses his life alert button, and they're like, hello, life alert. I guess it wouldn't do that, because it's not a thing. It would just, like, signal for someone to come get him. That's how he got out. He had a life alert necklace. That's the skit, guys. Darth Maul lands at the bottom of the pit, and he presses his life alert necklace, and then they come get him. What legs? The legs he had... Oh, yeah, that's right. Oof. Okay, maybe his arms are broken. Well, one arm is broken. Maybe his legs are still broken, but they're, like, over there. Very good point, Maul Bricks. Of course, Maul Bricks would be the one to mention that. The snake thing gets him. No, I like chewing on them. Oh, that's a bad idea, man. Man, B Bricks, you were just trying to be confrontational tonight, man. Don't be talking about my boy James Harden. What's up, Crypto Self? Read the rest, though. It was moving fast, so I didn't read it, but I'll read it now. It says... I cough on this cheerleader at my school who was really popular texted me and said she's interested in me. I followed it up with P.S. She's thick with 4 C's. Oh, okay, I see. Bro, you gotta play it cool. You have to act uninterested in her. Maul's only half the man he used to be. So sad. Oof. Yo, that'd be hilarious. Imagine a scene in the Clone Wars where it's like a bunch of clones fighting beside a bunch of Jedi in a battle. And when the Jedi gets killed, and all the clones are just like, get his blood! Grab it! What do you think of the Dallas Cowboys? I hate the Cowboys. That's kind of tough. I texted her for 6 hours straight. Holy crap. It's my bad. I just don't like him as a person, not trying to stir up trouble. I know, I'm messing with you, man. It's all good. Blood smoothie. Thick with 4 C's. Shout out to that boy Dan again. Most hated sports team. For me, it has to be the Patriots. Also, where'd you get this many minifigs of those troopers? I may need a package, so I try to create my own MOC. I just bought a bunch of this battle pack. YoJ, question, do you think Obi-Wan should have been nice in the prequel trilogy? I thought he seemed like a sad gentleman in the old trilogy. You can be a bad teacher without being a jerk. Yes! I've talked about this pretty extensively. Whenever I tell people the character I hate the most in all of Star Wars is Episode 2 Obi-Wan, they look at me weird. They're like, what? How can you hate Obi-Wan? And I'm like, look, listen. I love Obi-Wan in the original trilogy. I think Episode 3 Obi-Wan's pretty good as well. But Episode 2 Obi-Wan, and I mean, a little bit of Episode 3 Obi-Wan, not as much. It's just a total jerk for no reason. Like, as a kid watching that film, I always was just like, why is Obi-Wan being so mean to him? Like, and it's inconsistent too. Like, half the time he's like, oh, you're too reckless. You need to follow orders more. And you do too much crazy stuff. But then the other half of the time, Obi-Wan's doing crazy stuff like jumping out of a window and grabbing on to the droid. But he would like scold Anakin for doing that exact same thing. So, I mean, I get like, if you want to make him a bad teacher for some reason, I don't think he needs to be a bad teacher. I think it's sufficient to just be like, Obi-Wan was a good teacher and they had a good relationship. It just kind of happened like Anakin was seduced by the dark side. There was nothing Obi-Wan could do for him. That's fine. But to just make Obi-Wan a jerk, really for no reason, I feel definitely goes against his original trilogy character. Because he was never that way to Luke. But it also goes against what he says in the original trilogy by saying that they were good friends. Like, we hardly see that in the movies. And that's a very big problem. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. He was a jerk for no reason. He didn't have to be. First thing he says when he meets Anakin is, why did I get the feeling we picked up yet another pathetic life form? It's like, oh, really? That's the guy that you're supposed to be good friends with, that you have fond memories with? That guy? The one that called you a pathetic life form? Like, there was no reason for him to be such an a-hole in those movies. I'm so glad you brought that up. I wholeheartedly agree. She flirts with me all the time. He says this girl name. What was the girl's name? You said the girl's name. Girl at your school named Kennedy. She's smart and funny. She's light skinned with freckles and heck fine. And she's thick as F. Whoa. We got us some players in the chat. Make sure you respect her, though. Make sure you respect her. That's the #1 Boyo rule. Respect women at all costs. Straw time. What exactly does that mean? I'm more invested in B-Brick's relationship than I am my own. We will live vicariously through B-Bricks. Can you please talk to Iminar and make him explain the clip of Tom Brady making out with his son? Oh, I talk to him about that all the time. It's hilarious. Hey, shout out to Dan again. He is being so generous tonight. Holy crap, we got us some skinny frown boys in this one. I didn't even realize that. It's funny you fools think Obi-Wan takes crap from anyone, not even the chosen one. Because as is, Obi-Wan saying Anakin was the finest star pilot in the galaxy, a cunning warrior and a good friend, with genuine reverence and grief makes no sense. Exactly. 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 But yeah, no, like, even when Anakin like shows up to Geonosis, and the first thing Obi-Wan says, "I was beginning whether or not you got my message." It's just like, shut up! Like, why are you such a jerk? Like, this dude literally risks his life running through a freaking factory to come save you, and the best you can say is, "Oh, I was wondering if you got my message. What took you so long?" Like, what? Come on, dude, get out of here. People need to be more upset with George Lucas ruining Obi-Wan than Rian Johnson supposedly ruining Luke Skywalker. At least Grumpy Luke didn't freaking belittle Rey. When you finish the complete side game, are you going to update the intro? That's kind of my plan at this point. Planning a Batu build around 5 grade base plates. I'm thinking of making it. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I really hope that we see it in episode 9. I think that would be a great way to tie in the park to the film. So yeah, I would love to see a mock of it. That's why Star Wars: The Clone Wars Obi-Wan is the best. I agree. Star Wars: The Clone Wars Obi-Wan is awesome. Movie Obi-Wan and prequels, not so much. Who do I want to win the NBA Finals? I want the Golden State Warriors to win, only because if anyone's going to beat them, I want it to be the Rockets. If we can't have it, no one can. Alrighty then, have some dinner now, but thanks for one of the best streams ever. See ya, man. See ya. Take care, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This was incredible. What do you think about the rumor of that ship in episode 9 being a Venator? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It'd be interesting, I guess. Why is there a Venator there? Jungle Planet twice. Mustafar, maybe Pisana, Swamp Planet, Death Star Planet. Where did you get the Mustafar planet thing? Is Pisana the desert planet? There's also the planet where you see the ship kind of like fly right across the screen. It kind of looks like Canto Bight to me. It's definitely not, but it kind of looks like it with like the rolling city, I guess. Rockwork is not fun. No, it is not, and I'm not looking forward to it in Starkiller. B-Brick says Obi-Wan Anakin's relationship is much more reminiscent of how he talked in A New Hope. You mean in the Clone Wars? Absolutely. Kijimi. Okay, gotcha. I need to learn my planets. What am I doing? I'm slacking. Man, B Breaks is like Clone Wars Obi-Wan, a playa. Clone Wars Obi-Wan, he was a one-woman guy. That one woman died, though. He's a one-woman guy. Then that one woman died. Then he don't want a woman no more. Okay, Pisana's a desert planet. The monkey dude who fixes Ren's helmet is in a castle. Unconfirmed if that's on Must. Oh, okay, I see. Depends upon which country comes up with the best shooting rewards. What you talking about? I'll tell you, I'm not doing Order Plutonium as my next mock. Saving that for later. I'll be doing Karita since I have most of the parts and for the figures. Awesome. Sweet. I'm glad you said the name right, unlike some other big shot YouTubers who had an entire series saying the name incorrectly. What's your ideal Phase 2 Clone Trooper battle pack besides 501st? I love me some Shock Troopers, so love to see those guys in the battle pack. Anything, really. Freaking Chris, man. Exactly. I love Chris, but that was unacceptable. What do you think Palpatine's role in Episode 9 will be? I don't know. Hopefully nothing. Where's that thing? I'm missing... Oh, it's right here. Nah, he told me Cardia is his own planet. Is it? I bet it is. That's convenient. Welcome back, Captain 12s. What a lovely name. Man, I just still can't believe how much my mind has been blown tonight. Shout out to Fives also for the Discord plugs. You said you didn't like Vader, Jay. I know I didn't care for how much Palpatine... Whoa, what? What are you talking about? You said you didn't like... I love Vader. When did I say I didn't like Vader? I know I didn't care for how much the Palpatine tortured Vader and made his life hell thing, and it's just pushing in general. I wish Palpatine treated Vader as a friend. I'm generally fine with their relationship. I don't like that the prequels basically kind of made it out to be that Palpatine duped him. I think that Vader should have done a little bit smarter than that. But I'm fine with their relationship. The Vader fan movie. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't like that. Are the Red First Order Stormtroopers actually clones? They're definitely not clones. Clones are... You mean like clones from the prequels, or just are they people that were cloned? I would say no to both of those, but definitely not clones from the prequels. Prequel clones are all dead by the sequels. Except maybe Boba Fett, because Star Wars. People that were cloned. I would say probably... I mean, in Force Awakens, he tells Hux perhaps we should consider the clone army. So I would assume no, they're not. Unless in the time between episodes 8 and 9, Kylo went and had some people cloned. Dude, the Vader fan... Yeah, I did not care for that fan film at all. Ugh. It's just the epitome of fan fiction, and it's not even good. It's over the top. Also, I don't know, I like Vader as a character, but all of Vader's development that I needed to see, I've seen. It's happened over 6 movies. It seems more of them just kind of explain, like, dumb prequel stuff than anything. Most fan films are pretty rough. Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, the production, everything was fine. The effects were fine. Like, it looked good, but it was just goofy. I think in a fan film, I'd much rather see something more contained. Like, you can make whatever you want, right? Like, if it's your passion project, do it. I don't care. It's your money. Do what you want with it. I personally am of the opinion for fan films, I'd rather see, like, something more contained, you know? It's a lot easier to immerse yourself in something that's not a low budget version of a character you've already seen so much. Let's talk about building a Lego city. Man, if I had the time to do that, I would totally just make a Lego city making channel. Dan, do you really want to know if I like The Last Jedi? We've discussed this many times. I think I'm probably done. Well, actually, I'll assemble 2 more groups of figures to complete this square. After that, I think I'm done. Will you still be streaming 15 minutes down the line? I'll probably be finishing up at that point. Why not stop building MOCs for a little and build a Lego city? I mean, my true passion is building Star Wars MOCs. So yeah. Also, Star Wars Theory brought Mace Windu back, and that's dumb. I mean, yeah, if it ends up being him, then yeah, I'd say that's goofy. But we don't know that for sure yet, right? I never got the why. I don't really want to go too deeply into it because I can talk for hours about that, but I'll keep it very simple. First thing I like The Last Jedi, the fact that it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable. It was genuinely refreshing going into a Star Wars film and literally not knowing what could happen. Watching The Last Jedi was like riding a roller coaster. Very emotionally engaging. The stakes seemed real. The threats seemed real. And I felt that while watching the film. And I love that about that movie. I also love the character development. Like, the stuff with Rey and Kylo I thought was incredible. The stuff with even Luke and his interaction with Yoda was some of the best, really one of the best things I've ever seen in Star Wars. I love that. What else? I thought that the combat scene between the Preqtorian Guards and Rey and Kylo, it was just wonderful. It was new, it was fresh, it was creative. I thought it was a good way to have a combat scene involving the main villain and the main protagonist without just having to have them fight for a second time, because obviously the big fight's going to happen in 3. How do we get around that? And having them actually team up, I thought was genius. So I actually give Ryan a lot of credit for coming out with that idea, because we've never seen anything like that before. Finally, I like... I don't know. There's many things. I really like The Last Jedi. It's my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie. I go 4, 5, 8, 7, 6, and then the rest don't really matter. Do I think Kylo will turn? No. I think that he's had his chances to turn if they were going to do it, but I think it's pretty clear he's not. King Bibby says episodes 1 through 3 happen. Yeah, like I said, the rest don't really matter. that was my point in saying that. That Praetorian Guard got shredded like... Dude, he got ground up like meat. That was insane. Hey, what's up, bro? What's up, Forever Lego Studios? What are your thoughts on the news I told you? Yes, I'm super excited that like you most likely have everything you need to finish up your MOC. That's always very exciting when you get what's probably that final order. Question, is Rey going to have Kylo's son? I sure hope not. Hopefully she has Finn's son. That's the one thing I want to see out of episode 9. I just want Rey and Finn to end up together. Thoughts on perhaps a pod racer MOC on a custom plan? I actually would love that. I would love that. What are you doing? I'm assembling some Boyos. You see I got my figures lined up right here. Still bothers me that in the Praetorian Guard fight they had to edit out a sword to make sure it didn't kill Rey. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. You have to look really hard to even notice it, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Sorry to tell you this, Finn ends up with Rose. Dayton, don't break my heart. Prequels were bad, and I'll always love them. I grew up with them. Yeah, I grew up with them too, but I don't... That's not sufficient for me loving them. Will Rey's overpoweredness be explained? I mean, what explanation do you need? Was Luke's overpoweredness explained? I guess Anakin's overpoweredness was explained, but we've discussed pretty extensively in this chat, or in this stream, why the whole Midi-chlorian thing was a bad idea. Says if Rey and Finn had a son, what would the son's name be? I don't know. Make it J. J-H-A-E. Do you think the Knights of the Ren will go against Ren since Kylo killed Snoke? Snoke created the group. Do you think they will fight out as revenge for Snoke? I would say probably not. We already basically got... If they wanted to do that, they would have just had the Praetorian Guards be the Knights of Ren. I don't see any benefit to having that same kind of fight, but again, I hope they test race midichlorians. Oh my god. Rey's gonna be like in some old Jedi temple. She's gonna find like a thing. Yo, this is exactly how it's gonna go down. Okay. Rey's gonna be at some old Jedi temple, and she's gonna find some weird like device. She doesn't know what it is, but she holds it, and she's like kind of fiddling around with it, and it like pricks her out of nowhere, and she'll like drop it, and she'll look at her finger and realize it's like bleeding, and she'll be like, "What the heck?" And then she'll look down at the thing, and she'll pick it up, and it'll say like a really high number, and she'll be like, "Oh, whatever," and she'll just throw it because Midi-chlorians are stupid and they don't matter. It'll say like infinity. Why does Rey use the Force with such proficiency but not even believing in the Force a couple of days ago? I mean, if Luke can not even know what the Force is and then use it like basically later that day, I don't see a problem with Rey being able to use it. And definitely would not describe her use of the Force as proficient. Like, it takes her 3 tries to do the mind trick thing. Yeah. I wouldn't say she's using it proficiently. Appreciate that, Hunter. They better have a battle pack for the Knights of Ren, I swear. I'm going to guess. I imagine they'll either do one of two things. The Knights of Ren will all come in one set, or they will be split up between multiple sets, depending on how they're positioned in the new film. I don't know. We'll see. They can retcon them out. I mean, I wouldn't put episode 5 first. My favorite Star Wars movie is episode 4, and then I'll go 5. I'm more concerned about all these people that are putting episode 3 first. Episode 3 is basically dead last on my list. Rey hasn't had any losses or emotional setbacks. Sure, she loses Han, but she knew him for a day. I would describe her finding out or accepting the fact that her parents were no one an emotional setback. And losing Han was still a big deal to her. Like, she knew him for a day, but they still formed a bond. Like, if Han Solo died at the end during the Death Star trench run, I'm sure Luke and Leia would have been very sad. That would have been an emotional moment. I don't think you can discredit that just because they didn't know each other their whole life. What exactly did Ryan retcon? Please explain that to me. What do you call completely botching both being able to bring Luke back and trying to turn Kylo, though? I don't understand what you mean. What do you call completely botching both being able to bring Luke back and trying to turn Kylo? Explain that, what you mean. Really hope Palpatine gives Rey a midi-chlorian test. Oh my god. Rey also has really bad abandonment issues that occurred through her story. I mean, yeah. That's the problem. Like, I feel so... It's kind of annoying having to explain to people, like, what Rey's faults are, because they're there if you just watch the movie. Like, her kind of lack of independence is a really big issue. Like, the same way that Luke in episode 4 is like, oh, I have to stay here with my uncle. I can't go off and go on this adventure is a character flaw, right? Like, he wants it, but he's letting something so trivial hold him back. The same way that Rey doesn't really accept the lightsaber calling out to her because she feels she has some sort of... She's waiting for something that she really knows probably will never come, but she doesn't accept it yet. So, yeah. Do you think Vader's sacrifice to kill Palpatine could not be as effective or meaningful if Palpatine was still alive? Yes. That is the biggest reason I do not want to see Palpatine Episode 9. Did I read the Episode 9 Vanity Fair article? I would say I skimmed it. I'm just saying, Jay, that like the things I'm describing are flaws in character traits people just skip over because Mary Sue. I just didn't understand the point you were trying to make. Maybe break it down for me. Explain it to me like I'm 6. Rey was definitely cloned from Luke's hand. I mean, there may have been some Midi-chlorians still stuck in that in that hand. I'm just saying. Oh, you're saying that by botched it, you mean she botched it. Like, she was not able to do either of those things. I see what you mean. Palpatine responsible for all those Force users OT onwards through those Midi-chlorians. Midi-chlorians. I just have one question. After this stream, can we agree that Midi-chlorians are stupid? Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I figured that's it. I thought you were saying that, like, the filmmaker botched it. Like, they did it in a bad way. That's why I didn't really understand what point you were trying to make. Rey messes up about as much as Luke did in the OT. I mean, yeah. The only difference is Rey actually knew how to fight. Luke was such a wimp. Luke let the freaking Tusken Raider run up on him at point blank range. Yeah, no, Rey is generally very naive, I think. Luke was a crybaby. He wasn't a crybaby. He whined a little bit. He wasn't a crybaby, though. Although his line in the Falcon where he's like, "I thought you said this thing was fast," is pretty whitey. I love it though. I mean, that's Luke. He's just a little farm boy. He's in way over his head. Luke had hit Midi-chlorian puberty by then. I've always wondered why they have Kylo-style lightsabers on Malachor and Rebels. Is the explanation for his lightsaber he had problems with the crystals? Why with the old Jedi? Because Dave Filoni. That's why. Because Dave Filoni. Can Lego please make large base plate thickness? I've thought about that. I would assume the reason they're not is like structural issues. Like you want it flexible so they don't snap easily. Same reason that like the longest plate they'll do is a 2x16. Once they get too long, they're just too easy to break. Have you been in many battles? You guys know how much I love that quote. Have you been in many battles? TBH, Tusken Raiders filled my nightmares as a kid. I don't blame you. They're pretty terrifying. I love Luke, but he's a cynical dork who has so much trouble keeping hope and faith. Like, Luke's the complete opposite of a perfect warrior Jedi. That's why I hate EU Luke. Yeah, I agree. Can't lift the X-Wing out of the water. Just gives up on life. Yeah, Rey usually has a very one-sided way of thinking. She's optimistic for no reason and fails that way. That's weakness. Yeah. But no, she's a Mary Sue. She's perfect. She didn't seem too perfect when Kylo froze her in midair and carried her unconscious body away. But I guess we won't talk about that. Rey is whiny too. I mean, that wasn't her being whiny. The Alenium system. I wouldn't describe Rey as whiny. She is the least whiny Star Wars protagonist we've had. But I was going to go to the Tachi Station to pick up some power converters. You can play with your friends later. Where are you going? Nowhere, it seems. Anakin's weakness is that for some reason he had to have a Jesus birth. Yeah. Anakin's weakness is he can't stop people from dying. That's Anakin's weakness. I'll even learn to stop people from dying. He's also terrible with the ladies, but also not at the same time. Maybe Anakin is so good with the ladies, he took it as a personal challenge in the prequels with Padme to be like the most repulsive human being ever, and still he ended up getting the girl. Like, that was his way of challenging himself. Dane Lovelock says, why do people ignore the extremely obvious anti-war, anti-Republican message in the first 6 films and act like new films are propaganda? I mean, yeah, exactly. Are you an angel? I thought you said this thing was fast. Hey, what's up, Ty? How you doing, man? I don't think the system works. Come on, that speech about saying Anakin is the bomb. The bomb. But yeah, no, seriously. I hear people inadvertently say, I'm fine with women in movies. There just has to be a good reason for it in regards to this. A good reason for it. Does there have to be a good reason for men to be in movies as well? Or men can just be in movies, but if it's a woman, and there needs to be a reason. Like, ugh. Maybe they just want to do something new. Because we haven't had a woman protagonist before. Because all of them have been men for the past 6 movies. So why not switch it up? Who knows? What's up, Bread Boyos? Jen is bae. Jen's alright. I think she's kind of boring, kind of forgettable, but the movie was good. Have you watched any Vader Immortal gameplay? Is that the VR game? No one will be complaining about Rey being overpowered. She was a man. Exactly. Shout out to Dan6151. He says, Anakin, I just slaughtered a whole group of women and children. Padme. Oh my gosh, that's so hot. Oh my god. Hold on one sec, guys. Hey, what's up? Nothing much, I'm streaming. Did you need something? Oh yeah, I told him to get rid of it. I told him to get rid of it. Oh, okay. I can do that. I don't know. Okay, I'm about to finish up. I'll take care of it. Alright, bye. If BB-8 was a girl, she'd be bae. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna call it a night, guys. This stream was so fun. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. This would have been such a boring, monotonous task had I not had you guys, but you made this probably the funnest thing I've done this whole week. So I do want to thank you guys for that. You guys are incredible, and I love you all for it. But yeah, that was so fun. These are the figures that I got assembled. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 by 7. We got 56 boys. We got 56 boys. We got 56 boys. So yeah, that's good. That's in progress. I have this much to finish, but that will come at a later time. So yeah, once again, thank you guys so much. Thanks to DanDan61 for having some pretty incredible donations. And man, I can't wait to do another one of these. That was so fun, guys. And yeah, I want you to keep that Midi-chlorian theory on your mind, because I think we discovered something incredible. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. I love you all.